Whoa, do we have the magic news going on today? I should have known better. I don't know why I put out the video on Megacorp on a Monday in which Wizards was going to vomit out all of the Ixalan news, but we're going to get through it nonetheless. So I want to rate the Ixalan mechanics, and I want you to know that I'm not an expert player. If I can provide any value to you, it would be for your pre-release or limited play. Now, before I get into exactly the three mechanics and I rank them for you, I want to talk about two things that they mention, as they usually do in these mechanics articles. First of all, vehicles are back. Regardless of how you feel about them, they're back. I know some people have some strong opinions on them. I just don't. I don't have a super strong opinion on vehicles. They felt a little out of place in Kaladesh, but I mean, I'm sorry. The kid in me wants to play with pirate ships. If we have pirates, when you think about pirates, you think about a few things. You think about scurvy, booty, pirate ships, swords, eye patches. Right? That's about it. And rum. And I sincerely hope all of these things are in Ixalan, or most of them. So I get that the vehicles are like a flavor add-on. Hopefully they learn their lesson with the smuggler copter and skyship bonanza of Kaladesh. And hopefully they're just fine and they're flavorful. I've talked about before how Wizards definitely is pumping up the flavor. They're like, what's his name? You know, they're trying to take you to Flavor Town, and they started with these little bricks that you take. You know, they have these little bricks you take out now, and then you have your embalm tokens, and you have your vehicles. All these are different things. They're different ways to dress up what most long-term players like myself have kind of just sterilized. Like, I live life in an Excel spreadsheet like goggles world. You know, like I like the numbers. I like to see the statistics, all these things. I don't necessarily care that much about flavor, but I can appreciate it. Like, I can appreciate a good steak. I can appreciate some flavor. So pirate ships, that's a flavor win. Then we have booty. So we have Treasure Cove type, clue type cards in the set. So I said I wanted pirate ships, we got them. I said I wanted booty, we got that. So I think clues actually are pretty cool. I've liked them from the start, I think. Yes, they are a little gimmicky, but they're also another vehicle to apply more flavor to the sandwich that is playing Magic the Gathering. Like, we've got so many flavors going. It's a flavor explosion. And yes, they come into play and they tap for a colorless mana. That's fine. But late game, being able to sacrifice these things and draw cards is a huge advantage in almost any format. And you have cards like Treasure Map really featuring it, where it's a 2-mana artifact that you can pay one, tap it, scry one, put a landmark counter on it, and then if there are 3 or more, remove them and sack it and create 3 treasure artifact token. So you can create a bunch of them. I definitely see. I remember when clues were out in Shadows over Innistrad, green-blue clues was pretty spicy. Colt is a big fan of treasure. He's the best treasure out there. But let's get to the mechanics themselves. Now I'm going to go through them and how I believe I would rank them from 3 to 1, worst to best. Let's start with Deadeye Tormentor, which features the Raid ability. Now, Raid is great when you're on the attack. It basically says, if you attack this turn and then you play this creature, you get this thing. So we have, with Deadeye Tormentor, if you attack this turn, target opponent discards a card. Great. Raid is only going to be as good as what that if you attacked then says, right? So if it's then deal 5 damage, that's spicy. I remember with Mardu having situations where, you make purposely bad attacks to get the raid trigger. Like, I get that. But raid triggers kind of stink if you're on your heels, which is at least one of the 3 games normally. You're not just attacking into each other nonstop, even though it seems like that's what they want. The second ranked... Are you okay, Cold? Second ranked mechanic, I would say, is Enrage. I do think honorable mention that like Enrage Afflict decks will be disgusting. Like if you can draft a really good red-black... oh, no, actually, if that mechanic carries over, right? Because I forgot that they changed how we're going to draft. So Enrage is like Afflict in that it does something when a creature is blocked, so to speak. But Enrage says, when this creature is dealt damage, do this thing. Okay? So with Sun-Crowned Hunters, we actually have a 6-mana 5/4 that says when this creature is dealt damage, it deals 3 damage to target opponent. Now think about this. It blocks a 1/1, it deals 3 damage to lightning bolts your opponent. Attacks and is blocked, lightning bolts your opponent. Gets electrified, lightning bolts your opponent. You ping it with something of your own, lightning bolts your opponent. So it could get really spicy if you're able to trigger this many times. Or could you imagine having 2 of these in play, like in a late game sealed match, where you're pinging your own creatures and just lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt your opponent nonstop. Enrage is pretty good, I think. Hey, that's pretty good. And it was a close score with Explore. Explore takes a lot of words to kind of say a basic thing, but we have Tishana's Wayfinder, right? This is typically with this sort of stuff, you'll have an overcosted, underpowered creature to get the effect. So you have a 3-mana 2/2 that says, reveal the top card of your library. Put that card into your hand if it's a land. Otherwise, put a 3/3 counter. So if it's a land, draw it, and now you have a 3-mana 2/2, but you've ripped a land off the top. Otherwise, if it's like a creature or a spell or something, you can either put that card into the graveyard, put it back on top of your library, and then you get a 1/1 counter. This ability, in my opinion, is very strong, especially for limited play. So let's see, if it's a spell or a creature, you get to either, it's almost like a scry, except you're basically discarding it. So if it's a spell, if it's a land, great. You have a 3-mana 2/2 and you ripped a land off. That seems fine. If it's anything but a land, you have a 3-mana 3/3, and you have the ability to ship it. Let's say it's a 1/1 creature and you need a bomb, you just toss it in your graveyard. Or if it's something you just don't need, you can just discard it at that time, and you still end up with a 3-mana 3/3. I think Explore is a very strong ability, at least speaking of sealed for your pre-release. But again, I'm not a Magic pro, and so what I want to know is I want to know what you all think. How would you rank the mechanics of Ixalan, and what do you want to see the most of in your pre-release pool coming up not that far away? There's an absolute metric ton of Magic news coming out this week. I'm going to try to stay on top of it. I'm not going to worry too much about over-publishing because I know you guys will just catch up when you have time. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll talk to you again real soon.